Hey everyone, it's Paolo. Okay, I am so excited because today I get to talk to one of the co-hosts from ABC's The View. The one and only Sunny Hostin. You guys, I love her so much and her story is so inspiring. So, I'll see you guys with Sunny in person at ABC.
Spoonful of Paolo, here we go.
All right, are you ready?
I am.
Can I just say, really, Sunny, it is such an honor to have you on our show. Like, I love you. I've been watching The View since it was launched back in 1997.
My gosh.
And so, yeah. I mean, the show helped me in so many ways. But having you, I've been waiting for this moment. So thank you.
Thank you for having me. I love your show.
Thank you. Okay, so you joined the show with season 20. So I'm wondering, today, when you come on stage, does it feel normal to you being on The View now this long? Or do you pinch yourself when you see your picture in the opening intro and then you're walking onto the iconic stage? Is it feel like a pinch me, or you're like, okay, I'm used to this now?
I don't think anyone ever gets used to this. I don't think it's ever normal to be in the living rooms of 3 million people every day. And that's just not even online or in other countries. It's just never going to be normal. I would say I don't have pinch myself feelings because I'm with my girls and we all know each other and it feels very safe. But every time you walk out, it's a new audience. And so it just doesn't feel normal. There are all these people that are there. They're excited. You want to make their experience a really good one. Sometimes we're talking about things that are really serious. Thank God we've got some comic relief, from Joy. But I don't think it's a normal experience. I mean, I guess there have only been, 26 or 27 hosts, and it's almost 26, I think. 27? 24? Even less?
Wow.
So there have only been 24, and it feels like a sorority of just 24 women. So unless you've done it, it wouldn't feel normal.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I remember when I read your memoir, I Am These Truth, there was something that stood out for me. And there was this part when you wrote, and I loved it so much. You said that CNN producer who said I wasn't good enough to anchor my own show reverberated in my ears and waited on my confidence. But literally a couple of months later, I was co-anchoring a national news show that everyone in the industry watched. And Whoopi Goldberg, of all people, was talking about me to the executive producers of The View. That meant a lot. When you think of that moment, Whoopi Goldberg going to the executive producers talking about you, how does that make you feel?
It was, that definitely was dreamlike and a pinch myself moment because I was not only told that I would never be able to anchor my own show, I was used to audition other people for the show I wanted to anchor. And I did it for the money. I've got 2 kids in school. I've got a husband who, while he's a surgeon, loves to do a lot of charity work, which is a great thing. But and I just continued to do it. And every time I did it, it would chip away at my confidence. And then I got a job doing the overnights here at ABC. And what most people don't know is that the hours they're vampire hours, but I'm a vampire, I'm a night owl. So they're, 8 p.m. to about 6 a.m. And if you're lucky enough, GMA has seen you, liked you, and then you go from there to GMA and voice over some things at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. and then report for GMA at 7 a.m. So you're just working nonstop. But one of them is called America This Morning, and the other one is called World News Now. And America This Morning is watched by almost every single industry executive. And the other one is watched by all the insomniacs, which is Whoopi Goldberg. And so we used to do this thing called The Mix, which I think the show may still do. Where it's a hot topics thing, and we're jumping around, we're pretending to be on stripper poles, and just the craziest things you can ever imagine. And it's one of our most popular shows.
Wow.
And Whoopi said to Bill Getty at the time, if she can do that, she can, and then switch to America This Morning, which is straight news and she talks about the law, she could do this because
Wow.
they were looking for a Star Jones, someone that could sort of do both.
Mm,
And Bill Getty, he just passed away. I just went to his
yeah.
memorial service. He's a huge guy. He was
Hmm.
at least 6'4", 6'5", and he calls me into his dungeon of an office, which is like in a basement, and said, "I'd like to try you out." I mean, I really felt like throwing up. I felt like that's not possible. Like this other person just told me that I didn't have it. And I think the lesson therein is like, I knew I had
Mm.
it. I used to practice being Barbara Walters in my bathroom mirror. I knew myself.
Mm.
And you can never let anybody be a dream killer
Mm.
because they may not understand the dream. It wasn't meant for them.
Hmm.
So that guy who shall remain nameless also congratulated me on my Emmys.
Uh,
And um, I think he'd hire me today
wow.
if he could.
Like,
So it's just
wow.
you just believe in yourself.
Indeed. When I see you come out
Yeah.
every day on the stage, I see a woman with so much confidence. You know your facts, you know the truth.
Yeah.
And I wonder, because you started guest hosting, I think back in 2014.
Guess actually 2012 was
Okay,
the
so,
first time
oh,
I got an email
oh.
from our producer Summer Shake asking if I was available last minute to come on.
So I wonder then, with everything
Yeah.
you know now, like, is there one piece of advice you would go whisper to that Sunny who's going to be guest hosting the first time? Like, just saying
Oh
like,
gosh,
yeah,
yeah.
like what one piece of
Oh,
advice would you tell her with everything you know now, with all the years you've been on the show?
I would give that Sonny the advice that Bill Getty gave me
Mm,
after I kind of screwed up my first audition. He was like, "You were watching the show like a tennis match. You weren't in the show. That's not who I am auditioning. Lean in. You could do it.
wow.
Lean in." And my advice would be lean in to everything. And that's what you see every day. I lean in. Sometimes I lean in too far.
Mm.
And then I think, oh boy, let's see what Instagram says about that, you know? And our poor PR person is usually like, oh God. But I
Wow.
lean in and I would tell her to do that, to be authentically herself. And to be authentically Sunny is leaning in. There's really no gray area for me.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get there. I'm much more of a black or white person. I
Mm,
believe this is right or this is wrong.
yeah.
And I've people confuse. I'm glad you called it confidence because
Mm,
people confuse confidence with arrogance.
mm,
I'm actually the least arrogant person I think you'll meet because I still have those insecurities.
mm,
It's earned confidence. I'm only confident when I'm talking like about the law
mm,
or the love that I have for my children and my husband. I'm confident there
mm,
always. I'm
mm,
confident in my faith. I'm confident that all people are created equal and meant to be treated with humanity.
mm.
I'm confident in all of those things. And that's what you see. Other things, I'm not arrogant at all. It's just that earned confidence with life experience.
I love that Bill Getty told you that. I think Don Lemon said the same thing to you in
Don
that way
Lemon
because I
did
remember that. I
too.
remember that. I remember that. It's so,
It was
and you
so weird that they both would say
say that.
something like
Yeah,
that to
it's so
me.
crazy.
They saw me holding back. Yeah.
Before you were on TV, I know that you went to like an event. It was a bar association event, and you were
Yeah.
raising your hand, asking questions. And a producer from Court TV came up to you, and she
Stephanie
said,
Thompson.
"Yes," and she said that you
Yeah.
belong on TV. And I'm curious, what do you think she saw in you that day that she came to you and said, "Hey, you belong on TV"?
I was asking questions, then people started asking me questions. And it was about work-life balance. And I think I quipped, work-life balance, that's a lie. No one,
God.
they tell you that to make women feel terrible about themselves. There's no such thing as that. And then it just went on and on. And I think she saw the unfiltered nature
Mm,
that's required to do what I do,
mm,
and combined with the legal knowledge because it was a legal conference.
mm,
And so I was also kind of, I hate to say it, but saying, well, what you said that wasn't accurate,
mm.
actually. That's not how it works. And she just said, "You should be on television." And I said, "From your lips to God's ears, I don't think that's going to happen for me in my late 30s, but thank you for the compliment."
Wow.
And she gave me her business card, and I was on television 2 weeks later.
God, I think you're around
Yeah.
38 years old or
I was
around there.
38. I had
Yeah.
just had my daughter.
Oh my
So
God.
I was like postpartum on top of it and very confused about my career. I had a 4-year old and a 3.5-year old and a newborn, and I'd I didn't want to work in securities and exchange law
Yeah.
anymore. I was stuck.
Mm.
I was really stuck,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah.
When you were saying the television, it kind of made me remember because in your household growing up, you only had one television and
Oh,
your
yeah.
dream was to be a broadcast journalist. And
And I
you didn't
was
watch
not in
any,
charge of that
I
television.
know, I know. Your dad would watch sports, but every Sunday religiously, you and your family would watch 60 Minutes.
60
60
minutes
Minutes. And then you afterwards would go and pretend to be a
to
reporter.
be one of those reporters.
Yeah.
I mean,
So I'm
Ed
wondering,
Bradley. I mean, I would just watch it and watch, and I loved the way they just spoke, and I loved just the way they were telling stories, but they were factual, and those interviews were incredible. I would sometimes sneak some television, like Saturday morning cartoons,
wow.
and I used to love like the martial arts
Yeah.
movies, and then my parents, I would hear them, and then I'd like turn it off and I'd like run away, which was crazy because I was in
God.
their room because they controlled it. Um, but yeah, I knew that the work they were doing was so important.
You knew. So I'm curious then, like that little girl, like, here you are with your mom.
Yeah,
What advice is that?
that's what I looked like when I was doing the
I
thing.
mean, just so, so beautiful. What do you think she would say, Sunny, if she can just see all of your dreams coming true, where you are right now, sitting here with me, you just did a live show.
Yeah,
Like, I'm just curious, like, because I know you've been through a lot. So what would this little girl just say to you right now if she can come here and say, wow, Sunny, like,
it's gonna get so much better. Yeah, those were tough times, actually.
I know there were tough times.
Yeah,
I know there were tough times for you. Like, oh my God, it's so, yeah.
those were real. That's in front of I believe Morris Avenue, a tenement that we lived in until we could move up
Yeah.
to the projects that had no heat, hot water, and we were on the fifth floor
But they were tough
of a
times,
walk
but
up
they were
with
tough times.
roaches.
Wow. They were tough times, but what happened to you when you were 7 years old and your uncle got stabbed right in front of you, your Uncle Ed, and and you ran to the bathroom, remember reading, and
It
you
was
you,
all
you
there.
grabbed the roll of paper to stop that bleeding. I was just telling my husband, like, she's 7 years old, but she's so brave and she broke this cycle. I remember you saying something to yourself like, this is not gonna be my life, that you were
Ever.
gonna break that.
And
And
it
how
wouldn't be this
brave
the
you
cycle
were.
for my children either.
Wow.
No way. And I
Wow.
was going to get my mom out of there too.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
My
amazing.
mom was suffering. My dad was strong, but my mom was suffering. So
Uh,
we were all going to get out of that situation.
I got the chill.
And my mom
Um,
lives with me now in the
she lives with
carriage
you
house
now.
across my driveway and drives me crazy every
It's
day.
okay. It's okay.
Thanks, mom.
No, but look, my mom passed away last year, and I tell you, she was only
Oh,
65 years old,
oh, I'm
and it's okay.
sorry.
I wear this pin. I say this in all my interviews. I wear. She's
Oh,
close to me. When it was confirmed yesterday, my mom signed to me as a bluebird, and I kid you
oh,
not that we were by a bluebird, and there was a sign that said, "Call your mom. She loves you," and then your team called, like, said
oh,
thumbs up, and then you get to be on our show. So like, I feel
oh.
like everything happens the way it's supposed to happen.
It
So
is.
you take care of your
It
mom. I
does.
know she's a lovely person. I know she
She's
believed in you because
she's lovely.
she is very lovely. And you growing up too, like I remember you would have the newspaper in your house and you would like
New
get
York
a new
Times,
word, New
always the
York
New
Times,
York
the New
Times.
York Times, and you would go give the definition to your parents of what that
That
word meant.
that was my, well, I would have to read the New York Times because it was the best, according to
Yeah.
my mom. And my dad got me a dictionary, and he did not have a college degree, he had a technical degree. And I could pick any word, but I had to get through the entire dictionary. So I just would go from A to Z. And then at dinner, we ate dinner every night together. And I think that's very important. I do that with my children,
Mm.
uh, and give them the definition of the word and use it in a sentence.
It's,
And I was really bilingual, so that was kind of hard.
yes, yes. Spanish was your first
Yeah,
language.
Spanish was
Yes.
my first language, so that exercise started when I spoke more English.
Oh my God, you're so smart. You skipped 2 grades. You went to high school at age 12, college at age 16.
I
Like
would
it's
not recommend high school at 12 for anybody, or college at 16 for anyone
Oh my God, it's
either.
amazing. And can I just say, I love your real name, Asuncion.
Thank
It's
you.
so beautiful.
Thank
I
you.
I know that, when you were on Nancy Grace's show, like she couldn't say, she kept saying it over and over and over. And it's like, you have a nickname. You're like, oh, well, in college, you used to call me Sunny. So you said, call me Sunny. And I know since then,
Yes.
called you Sunny. But if you can go back to that day, would you have her, like, just like keep saying you're mispronouncing your name, or you say, okay, fine, call me Sunny?
Uh, I would be Asuncion today, and Nancy, I would have ignored her. I mean, she just kept on saying, "Can I say something to you?" And I would say, "Yes." Your name is Sanshan, Sunfian. No one can pronounce it. They can't remember it. You are made for TV, but not with that name. And it was again someone who I looked up to, who had this job and who was a lawyer talking about the law, telling me unless you change something about yourself, you won't make it.
Mm,
Unless you change your hair, you won't make it, which I was also told, unless you change, become a little less Bronx, you won't make it. And I just said, Sunny, because people that couldn't pronounce my name called me Sunny.
wow.
I'm not that person anymore. I could care less what people think about me.
Mm,
That's again earned confidence. And I think what I regret the most about it is that I hurt my grandmother. She did not speak English, and I was named after her sister,
mm,
and her sister that died that she was the closest to. And she refused to call me anything but my real name. And my husband doesn't call me Sunny unless we're in mixed company.
yeah.
My children call me, well, they call me Mama, but when they introduced me by my real name. So I would have never done that. But it was that thing that I think when we're looking for success, those seeds of doubt, you've got this person telling you you won't make it with that name.
Well,
Well, then let me change it.
I know everyone's so proud of you. I know your nanny, Virginia. I know after you got your college degree, you went straight to her home, and she was, I think she
She
had
was
up
the
to
one that was
sixth grade.
upset about the name change.
And she was okay. What's okay? But I remember
Yeah.
she saying to you, she had us up to sixth grade
Sixth
education, I
grade
believe. And
education.
she looked at you. She said,
Yes.
"You go out there and you represent me." And I'm just
Yes.
thinking how proud she must be to have you not representing just her, but every biracial kid out there, because that is such, I don't know, to have people to look up to you, because I know for you, you didn't have anyone to look up to,
No,
but
I
now
don't.
there's so many kids out there who can look up to you. That's
Yeah.
gotta feel so beautiful inside.
Beautiful and a little otherworldly, really,
Yeah.
right? Like I
Yeah.
feel like upside down world. My grandmother dropped me off at the Greyhound bus station. Our family wasn't the family that like packed up a U-Haul bus and took me to, it was like get on the $19 Greyhound bus with your bags and stuff. And some Puerto Rican food actually also in like Tupperware that
Yeah.
smelled up the entire bus.
That's
So
okay.
people
That's okay.
loved me. But she said in Spanish, you remember, I may have a sixth grade education, but you going away to college means you representing me there. And I just felt like I've got to get A's. Like, you just start to think, like, I really want to go to this party, but like, if I don't do well, I've just let down this woman who helped raise me and who I revere. So
Mm,
it is. She was so proud when I graduated. She had copies of all my diplomas, all my degrees. She watched every single show I was on.
wow.
She, God forbid, there was one time I was on Univision. I thought she would pass out. I mean, I really did. She passed away, but I was on Spanish language television,
Wow.
and she just couldn't, one, believe that I kept the language, that I retained the language, and that I was proud of it.
Mm,
I'm proud that I can speak more than one language. And there isn't a day that goes by really that someone doesn't email my website or get on Instagram and say, oh my God, you said just what I needed to hear, or you said what I was feeling, or thanks for representing us so
mm,
well. And there was no term like Afro-Latina that back
mm.
then. It was either you were supposed to choose. And it's real hard to choose when your mother's a Puerto Rican Jew and your father's
Right.
black. Like, what
Yeah.
do you choose?
Yeah.
And now there are terms for it, and you can be who you can self-define.
Yeah.
And so that's very special. That's very special for me now.
Wow. You know what's special for me is, and this is my last question, is because today is National Coming Out Day, and
Oh,
I grew up
okay.
Catholic, and
Oh.
I know you're Catholic, and the reason why I love you so much is because with me being gay, like, there's some family members and friends who don't accept me, don't accept my marriage to my husband,
Oh,
but I know where you stand, and
yeah.
you being so supportive of LGBTQIA, which means so much to us, and I'm
Yeah.
just curious, being a Catholic, were you always a supportive of the LGBTQIA,
Yes.
or did you have to come to terms, but you
I
just...
was. My grandmother's best friend was trans.
Mm,
I know that sounds so crazy because this was in let's see, I was born in 68. So this was in the early 70s. And Sylvia was just Sylvia. I don't know. I just saw a woman. I just saw a woman. And I remember a mean person said to me, I was maybe 10, that's really a man. And I was like, that's not a man, that's a woman. And they said it was against the church and all of this. And I said, but the teaching is that God doesn't make mistakes and that people are born, not made. And you are born gay, like you're born
mm,
that way. So
mhm.
how could the church not understand? That's not the church I grew up in.
Yeah.
I grew up in a church that our priests came to our house, drank too much wine, and ate food, and Sylvia was there and accepted.
Mm,
So I think I had a very different upbringing as a Catholic when it came to the community. I just do. And so the one person that was interestingly enough, I just spoke to my dad, and he grew up Baptist
mm.
in the Deep South. The man who married a white woman 1 year after the Loving
Right.
decision would have the audacity to sort of have some bias. But he was like, I don't know. This whole thing, everybody's born gay, everybody's born gay. And I said, it's more difficult in this country to be part of the LGBTQIA community.
Mm,
Um, you don't have the same rights as everyone else in other countries. You barely have them here. Who would choose that?
mm,
As a black man in his 70s, if you could choose, would you choose to be black and
mm.
go through what you've gone through? And he said it was a huge breakthrough for him. That why would someone choose something more difficult? We like the easy way out.
Yeah.
Everybody likes the easy way out.
Yeah.
So for him, that was his light bulb
Mm.
moment. But my light bulb moment, I wouldn't even ever call it that. I just grew up like that.
I mean, that's why my beloved mom and I, well, that's why we loved you because you're a voice for so many of us. Like, and that's why I think I went to watching The View and the Oprah shows because there were two shows for me. I didn't really have gay friends coming, being Catholic. So I would look to The View and seeing these ladies always accepting us, and for us it felt like a safe
Yeah.
place to come and watch every day.
Yeah.
And so I thank you like so much for being on that table every day and like and speaking the truth and protecting us, because I know I speak for everyone
Always.
else in our community. Like we thank you and every
Well,
single lady around
well,
that
we
table.
thank you.
Oh, thank
You
you.
make life more interesting.
Thanks.
Uh, it's a community. I don't know why anybody would want not to be part of a loving community
Yeah.
that's very forgiving also.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so this episode's gonna be out the day before your birthday next week.
Oh
So
my,
we gotta get you
my
something.
39th
Your
birthday?
39th, yes. You look
Oh,
good. So
thank
Patrick and I, we
you.
we saw this right away because I know you're a beekeeper and I know you
I
have your own
am.
honey. I know, I know. So we wanted to get you something a little
You know so much
special.
about me.
So this is for
God,
you, just a little. It's
thank
from a spoonful of Paulo.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, should I open it
Yeah,
now?
open it, of
Or
course. Yeah, 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 of course.
I feel seen.
Oh, yeah, I hope you do.
I feel very seen.
I'm glad. Then we did our job then. Okay.
Joy Behar would say, you feel seen, don't you?
Oh,
Oh my gosh, they're gorgeous. Are
Yeah.
you serious?
yeah,
Thank
you're
you.
welcome. Bee earrings
Mwah.
for you,
Are
Sunny.
you
Yes.
serious right now? Oh
It just goes like
gosh.
whatever you
Do you want to
stand
see
for.
what they look like?
You can see whatever you want. You can see whatever you like.
You may have to help me. Oh no, I
Got
got
it.
it. Yep,
Okay.
it's my long nails.
I'm so glad you love them.
I love
As soon as we
them.
saw them, like Patrick was like, "We're gonna get them," and they were the last pair. We're gonna get them. We're gonna get them. Yeah.
Gosh. And I have to do some promo shots for my honey.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's gonna be perfect. It's gonna be perfect.
Oh my God.
Do you see that?
You look beautiful.
Are they great?
They look really, honestly, they look really, really good on you. Oh my God.
Like they're made for me.
Oh my God. Sunny, honestly, from the bottom of my heart,
you
today
so
really,
much.
you know how I feel about this show, you know how I feel about you. So being here, you and your amazing team, I thank you from the bottom of my heart, because this will be a day when I go home and write in my journal, and I cannot wait. And just thank you for speaking for all of us, speaking the truth, and we love you so much, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Love you too.
I love you too. All right, everyone, take a little time. You have to say, end the show how you ended it today.
You know what to say. Take a little time to enjoy the view.
Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time. And thank you, Sunny Hostin. We love you.
Oh, this is good. Gracias.
Muchas gracias. Sí,
Oh,
sí.
this is so
Mwah.
great.
Thanks, everyone.
Oh my gosh. I don't think I've ever gotten a gift like that. Let me just look in the mirror.
Yeah, of course.